today with a book review for you. First, if you're new here, my name is Jen. This is an introverted lifestyle channel. You will find videos about crafting, sometimes Dollar Tree hauls, TJ Maxx or Marshall's hauls, or home goods, book reviews, sometimes the occasional writing video, and things like that. So if those things interest you too, then I hope you will stick around. So this is a YA book, and this is actually, how do I explain this? Because it's not a series per se. So this is called My Contrary Mary, and it's written by 3 YA authors who have other series. So it's written by Brody Ashton, Cynthia Hand, and Jody Meadows. And there's another 3 books called The Plain Janes, or like the Janies, and then these are the Marys, and this is the first book in the Mary. So these books follow historical figures. You can find reviews for all 3 of the other ones. It's like My Lady Jane, My Plain Jane, and I think it's My Calamity Jane, I think. On this channel, I enjoyed all of them, and I enjoyed this one as well. So this one is, and the covers are all striking like this, and it's a bit of a bigger book, but they all have like a woman on the cover, and the really bright block font, and I don't know, I just think they look really cool. So basically, this follows Mary, Queen of Scots. So these follow history with a twist, and it's basically got, or has 3 alternating perspectives. There's Mary, Queen of Scots, there is Ari, which her father is Nostradamus, and then there is Francis, which he is the future king of France. So I always enjoy looking at these books and like seeing the characters and then looking them up and seeing what they actually look like, or any portraits that may have been done of them, and seeing like what their actual story was, because usually the authors take some liberties. And so it follows Mary, Queen of Scots, and there's lots of like betrayal. Try not to give any spoilers. So there's some betrayal, there's some scheming. It's very interesting, you know, because when you read one perspective, that character might not know something, but then another character, when you're in another chapter, you're reading from their perspective and they might know that information. So essentially, Ari's father is Nostradamus, and she is better at potion making and not so great at predictions, and her predictions are scenes from movies that are from like modern times, so it's kind of funny. Francis doesn't want to be the king of France at all. He's kind of like this meek, bleh kind of character, but he's been in love with Mary since they were, you know, engaged, or whatever you want to call it, since they were children. So like Mary's mother sent her to France with this like in mind, of this marriage. So Mary is like very stubborn, and she's contrary, thus the name. And supposedly it's where the nursery rhyme of Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow comes from. But basically, you know, it's kind of about the 3 of them, and Mary kind of, so essentially what happens is King Henry dies, and that is actually, I remember that being in one of the quatrains or whatever from Nostradamus about the jousting match, and then it like goes through the helmet of King Henry, and he is, you know, he dies or whatever. So I do actually remember that one. So they're kind of thrust into being king and queen, and like Francis's mom is very conniving, and then stuff is happening with Mary's family and in regards to her mother, so she has to go to Scotland. So there's like all of this like historical stuff happening, and then this picks up from My Lady Jane, where, and my Jane actually makes an appearance in here, where there are Edians, that's how I pronounced it, and Verities, and Edians like can take their inner animal and convert into animal form. So like I said, it's historical fiction, but it has like a lot of liberties. There's also points where the narrators like address the reader, and that's a style that was true in the Jane books as well. These are just really fun reads. They're really easy, like easy and quick reads. So if you're interested in historical fiction with like fun, frivolous, like additional things added to it, kind of just for amusement or whatever, then I think that you would like these. Like I said, they are YA, so do keep that in mind. And this one in particular, I really liked so they give them happy endings typically, so there was a twist on the ending in this one, and I really liked the character growth of Francis and Mary, Queen of Scots in this. But yeah, so you know, you might want to start with the Jane books you don't really need to read them. They're each of a standalone for this one to like make any sense, but Jane does make an appearance from My Lady Jane, and they're just great books. I can't wait for the other 2 Mary books, and to see which Marys they focus on. There are some bits on Amazon, so I don't know if those are like just placeholders or whatnot, but this one came out in 2021, so that is my review of My Contrary Mary. I believe I gave it 4 stars, 4.5. So like I said, they're fun, they're easy to read, they're amusing, and I enjoy them. So that's all I have for you today. In the meanwhile, stay introverted. Bye!